Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world today. I am so excited to be here with you to share in this divine moment of encouragement, faith, and understanding. We've all experienced seasons where life feels like it has been a series of losses, missed opportunities, and wasted time. But I want to remind you today that God is in the business of restoration. And if you've ever wondered whether your lost years can be redeemed, if you've ever asked God, can you restore the years that I feel have been wasted, I am here to tell you that the answer is why yes. When God begins to restore your lost years, the first sign you'll notice is that new opportunities begin to unfold in your life. You've been through a season where doors seemed to be closed, where progress felt like an uphill battle, and where you watched others move ahead while you felt stuck. But when God's hand is upon your life for restoration, He will open doors that you never thought would be possible. It's as if everything that has been shut off from you suddenly begins to swing wide open. Those opportunities you thought were gone forever, those dreams that seemed too far-fetched, start to manifest in ways you could never have imagined. It's easy to feel like your time has passed, like you've missed your moment. But let me tell you, when God steps into your story, He doesn't need your timeline to match the world's expectations. He doesn't need to play by your rules. He is a God who specializes in making up for lost time. The opportunities that He sends your way will be opportunities that come with a divine sense of timing, placed at the right moment in your life, when you are ready to walk into them. And these opportunities won't always come in the form you expect. Sometimes they may look small at first, but don't be fooled. The seed of greatness is often planted in what seems insignificant. Maybe it's a phone call that leads to a job offer, or a chance meeting with someone who opens up a network of connections. Perhaps it's a door in your career, your relationships, or even your spiritual walk that you thought was permanently closed. But God has a way of unlocking things at the perfect time. In the moments when you feel like you've missed your chance, remember that God is never bound by your perception of time. He can restore what was lost years ago, and He can bring back opportunities that you thought were long gone. Think about the story of Joseph in the Bible. He went through years of suffering, betrayal, and imprisonment. And yet, when his moment of restoration came, it was greater than anything he could have imagined. God not only elevated him to a place of honor, but He also gave him the opportunity to save nations and reunite with his family. What seemed like a series of setbacks were actually setups for something greater. When God restores your lost years, the opportunities He places before you will often carry a sense of divine favor. You'll walk into places where others have struggled for years to get. You'll receive promotions, blessings, and open doors that have been reserved just for you. It won't be based on your qualifications alone. It will be by God's grace opening paths that you couldn't have accessed on your own. You've been through the waiting, the frustrations, and the doubts, but I want you to get ready. God is not just restoring your years. He's restoring the opportunities you thought you missed. And when that door opens, step through it with boldness, knowing that it's the work of God in your life. No opportunity is too big, no door too heavy, no blessing too great. God is in the business of making up for lost time and bringing opportunities back to life. What seemed impossible yesterday is now within reach, and your future is about to look far brighter than you ever imagined. When God begins to restore your lost years, one of the first changes you'll experience is a shift in your heart. Where once there was hopelessness, discouragement, and a sense of defeat, now there is a renewed sense of hope. This isn't just the hope that comes from a fleeting moment of encouragement. This is the deep, unwavering hope that roots itself in your spirit. It's the kind of hope that rises from within you, even when your circumstances haven't changed yet. You'll begin to feel like something is different, as though God is breathing new life into your soul, and you can now see a future that once felt out of reach. Hope is a powerful force. It's not just a positive feeling. It's a force that shapes your actions, your mindset, and your outlook on life. When God restores your lost years, He doesn't just restore time. He restores your ability to believe that better days are ahead. You may have been through seasons where it felt like the sun would never shine again. Maybe you've faced disappointments, losses, or betrayals that left you questioning if anything good was ever going to come your way again. But restoration brings with it a fresh wind of hope that reminds you that your past does not define your future. You are not trapped in yesterday's failures. You are stepping into tomorrow's victories. This newfound hope isn't just wishful thinking. It is rooted in the promises of God. You begin to understand that God's timing is perfect, and although things may not have worked out the way you expected in the past, His plan is still unfolding. The hopelessness you felt begins to give way to a renewed faith in God's ability to turn things around. You begin to trust that He can take what seemed like a lost cause and breathe new life into it. That hopelessness is replaced with an anticipation for the good things He has in store for you. And here's the thing, this hope doesn't just stay inside you. It becomes contagious. As God restores you, you'll notice that your faith and your hope begin to affect those around you. People who have been watching your journey, who have seen you struggle, will begin to see something different in you. They'll notice the change in your attitude, the way you approach challenges, and how you carry yourself with confidence, even in the midst of uncertainty. This hope becomes a testimony that speaks louder than any words ever could. Your life becomes a living proof that God can take someone who has been through the fire and bring them out shining brighter than before. As hope grows in your heart, so does your sense of purpose. You start to see that God hasn't brought you this far just to leave you where you are. He's been preparing you for something greater. The future, which once seemed uncertain, now appears full of possibility. You'll no longer be defined by your struggles. You'll be defined by your faith and your expectation of what God will do next. This hope also brings peace. Peace that surpasses understanding. When you know that God is in control and that His restoration is at work in your life, you no longer feel the pressure to figure everything out on your own. You rest in the assurance that God is working all things together for your good, and that peace becomes a steady anchor in the storm. It's not just about surviving anymore. It's about thriving, walking in the fullness of God's promise with a heart full of hope and a mind focused on the bright future ahead. When God begins to restore your lost years, one of the most powerful signs of His work is the return of people from your past. These are not just random encounters or coincidences. These are divine reconnections. The relationships that once seemed to fade, that seemed irreparable, are now being brought back into your life. It's as though God is orchestrating a symphony of reconciliation, restoring what was lost in the realm of relationships and bringing back the people who can help you recover and move forward. Think about the people who once walked with you, but for one reason or another, they drifted away. Whether it was a disagreement, a misunderstanding, or simply time and distance pulling you apart, you may have thought that chapter was closed for good, But when restoration begins to take place, God will reconnect you with those very people in ways you never imagined. Those relationships that once seemed beyond repair are now becoming bridges to the next level of your destiny. The power of these restored relationships lies in the purpose they bring. These people aren't just showing up by accident. They are showing up because they have something significant to offer your life. Maybe it's wisdom they have gained through their own experiences, or maybe they bring with them opportunities, connections, or resources that you need. Maybe they come to offer forgiveness, or maybe they bring healing where there was once hurt. Whatever the reason, God is using them as instruments of His restoration in your life. And sometimes it's not just about the people who are returning to you, but also about the role you are now able to play in their lives. As God restores you, you may find that you are in a position to help those who once helped you, or to offer encouragement to those who once walked alongside you. Restoration is not just a one-way street. It is a two-way exchange where both parties grow, heal, and move forward in strength. The very people you thought were lost are now coming back to walk with you in the journey ahead, bringing a new level of mutual support, trust, and understanding. These restored relationships also bring a sense of healing. For some of us, the pain of lost relationships has been one of the deepest wounds. Whether it was the loss of a close friend, a mentor, or even family members, those wounds can run deep. But when God restores those relationships, He doesn't just bring back the people. He brings healing to the wounds. The things that once divided you are now being bridged by God's grace, and what seemed irreparable is becoming a testament to His redemptive power. It's important to recognize that not all relationships are meant to be restored in the same way. Some people may come back into your life for a season, and others may return for a lifetime. But every time someone from your past comes back, whether for a brief moment or a lasting connection, God is working to fulfill His purpose for you. These people are part of your restoration story, and through them, you'll see how God is taking what was broken and mending it, weaving it back into the tapestry of your life. As these relationships are restored, you will find that your sense of purpose deepens. You'll understand that you are not meant to walk this journey alone. God is bringing people back into your life who will help you, support you, and challenge you to grow in ways you couldn't have imagined. Your future will be brighter because of the relationships He is rekindling, and you'll see that what was lost has now become part of a beautiful, restored whole. When God begins to restore your lost years, one of the most profound signs you'll experience is a fresh vision for your life. For so long, you may have felt like you were walking in the dark, unsure of where you were headed, questioning whether the path you were on even mattered. But when God steps in, everything changes. Your sight becomes clearer, your purpose becomes more defined, and the dreams that once seemed far-fetched now appear within your reach. This renewed vision isn't just about seeing the future, it's about understanding the purpose behind every moment, every trial, and every season you've walked through. At first, you may not even realize it's happening. You wake up one day and realize that your mindset has shifted. The limitations you once placed on yourself begin to fade, and what seemed impossible starts to feel like a challenge that you can conquer. God begins to reveal a bigger picture of your life, a picture that includes not only your dreams but also the plans He has for you. This vision expands beyond your immediate circumstances and begins to show you the possibilities that are right in front of you. You start to see how every part of your journey even the painful chapters, has been leading you to this point. What happens next is nothing short of miraculous. You begin to see yourself differently. The self-doubt and insecurity that once held you captive are replaced by a deep sense of confidence. This isn't confidence in your own abilities, but in God's ability to restore, to elevate, and to bring about transformation. You start to realize that the experiences you've had, the challenges you've faced, and the setbacks you've encountered were not in vain. They were preparing you for the vision that is now unfolding before you. You no longer view your past as a series of failures, but as a series of lessons that have shaped the person you've become. The new vision God gives you is not just a mental shift. It's a spiritual awakening. You begin to sense that you are not just existing. You are part of something far greater than yourself. Your life has meaning, and you are positioned to accomplish things that will have an eternal impact. The things you once feared or doubted now seem attainable because you know that with God, all things are possible. Your faith becomes the lens through which you see your future. You begin to understand that what you've been through wasn't punishment, but preparation. God has been shaping you all along for the moment when you would see things clearly, and that moment is now. This renewed vision also brings a sense of urgency and excitement. Where once there was hesitation, now there is boldness. You feel a new sense of direction, as if God has placed a fire within you to pursue what He has called you to do. The uncertainty that once held you back is now replaced by a burning desire to move forward. You are no longer waiting for things to fall into place. You are actively stepping into the future God has designed for you. And as you walk forward, you'll realize that each step is divinely ordered, each choice is aligned with His will, and each moment is an opportunity for growth and transformation. This fresh vision also enables you to see opportunities in places where others might only see obstacles. You start to view challenges as stepping stones, knowing that God is using them to shape you and prepare you for the greatness that is ahead. What once seemed like detours are now recognized as part of the journey that is taking you exactly where you need to go. You begin to embrace your future with excitement, anticipation, and a deep sense of gratitude, knowing that God is not only restoring your lost years, but He is positioning you for a future that is beyond anything you could have dreamed for yourself. When God begins to restore your lost years, one of the most unmistakable signs is the arrival of unexpected blessings. These are the kinds of blessings that you didn't plan for, the ones that come out of nowhere and leave you in awe of God's goodness. For so long, you may have struggled, worked tirelessly, and faced challenges without seeing the results you had hoped for. But in the midst of your restoration, God will start to pour out blessings that exceed your expectations, showing you just how much He can do when He is at work in your life. It's important to understand that these blessings are not always material in nature. While financial breakthroughs and tangible rewards are certainly part of God's blessings, they are not the full picture. Sometimes the greatest blessings come in the form of peace where there was once chaos, joy where there was once sorrow, and a renewed sense of purpose where you once felt lost. The blessings that flow when God restores you are comprehensive. They touch every part of your life, not just your bank account or your career, but your heart, your relationships, and your spirit. You'll find that God's restoration is a holistic process, touching every area of your life in ways that are beyond what you could have anticipated. As these blessings begin to show up, you'll notice a shift in your perspective. What once seemed like a struggle to make ends meet or to keep your head above water now starts to feel like a season of overflow. You'll begin to see that God's favor is not just a blessing for you, but it's also meant to be a blessing to others. Your newfound abundance, whether that be emotional, spiritual, or material, becomes a testimony to the world of God's faithfulness. You begin to realize that the blessings you're receiving aren't just for your benefit. They're a way for God to show others that He can turn things around, even when it looks like all hope is lost. One of the most beautiful aspects of these unexpected blessings is the timing in which they come. For many, there's a moment of feeling like everything has passed by, that the window of opportunity has closed, but God's timing is always perfect. When He restores what has been lost, He does it in a way that feels tailor-made just for you. You'll find that the blessings come at a time when you need them most, when your faith is being tested, or when you're finally ready to receive them. This divine timing speaks volumes about the character of God. It's not about rushing to get what you want. It's about waiting for God to bring what you need at the perfect moment. Sometimes these blessings come in the form of people who enter your life unexpectedly, offering encouragement, wisdom, or resources just when you need them. You'll find yourself surrounded by a community of people who support you, who lift you up, and who help you walk in the promises that God has given you. These people are not just part of your past, they are part of your future, and God has placed them in your life at the right moment to help you walk into the next chapter. And perhaps most surprisingly, some of these blessings come in the form of breakthroughs in areas where you had given up hope. God begins to open doors that you had long considered shut. Financial struggles begin to resolve, health issues start to improve, and relationships that were once strained start to heal. What once seemed impossible is now becoming possible, and this is a powerful reminder that God's restoration isn't just about returning what was lost. It's about bringing you into a season of abundance and favor that you could never have imagined on your own. When God restores your lost years, He doesn't just give you back what you lost. He gives you more than you could have ever asked for. And as these unexpected blessings begin to pour into your life, you'll see that God's plan for you was never about living in the past. It's about moving forward with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that He has something far greater in store for you than you ever thought possible. These blessings are just the beginning of a new season, one where God's favor, grace, and restoration will overflow in your life in ways you never dreamed. When God is in the process of restoring your lost years, one of the most profound changes you'll experience is the strength to let go of the past. The pain, the regrets, the mistakes, the betrayals. Everything that has held you captive in the past no longer has the power to define who you are or who you will become. The weight that once felt too heavy to carry begins to lift, and you find yourself empowered to release what you once thought would haunt you forever. This process of letting go isn't always easy. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's certainly not something that comes without its struggles, but it's one of the clearest signs that God is at work in your life. There's a spiritual strength that rises within you when God begins to restore you. A strength that enables you to forgive, to heal, and to move forward with peace in your heart. For so long, you may have carried the burden of past hurts and disappointments, thinking that they were part of your identity. You may have believed that the pain you've endured somehow had a hold on your future. But restoration brings the freedom to release those things and to embrace the life that God has waiting for you. Forgiveness plays a significant role in this process. It's easy to hold onto anger, resentment, or bitterness when you've been hurt. The enemy wants you to stay stuck in that cycle, to keep reliving the pain, to keep nursing those wounds. But God's restoration offers you something far greater, the ability to forgive, not just for the other person's sake, but for your own. Forgiving those who have hurt you doesn't mean excusing their actions, but it means freeing yourself from the chains that those offenses have placed around your heart. It's about releasing yourself from the past so you can step into the future with a heart that is whole and at peace. As you let go of the past, you also begin to release the regrets and guilt that have weighed you down. So many of us carry the burden of things we wish we had done differently, opportunities we missed, or mistakes we can't take back. We look at our lives and feel like time has been wasted, but God's restoration doesn't just heal your wounds, it also heals your regret. When God steps into your life, He redeems your past and gives it purpose. You start to see that even your mistakes weren't in vain. Every lesson learned, every struggle faced, and every setback was part of a divine plan. You begin to realize that nothing in your life is wasted. God has been working behind the scenes to turn your past into a testimony of His grace and goodness. This strength to let go also brings a new sense of freedom. For the first time in a long while, you no longer feel trapped by your past. The shame, the bitterness, the self-doubt, all of it begins to lose its grip on you. You start to walk lighter, freer, with your head held high and your heart full of hope. You understand that you are not defined by your past failures, but by the new identity God is creating in you. You are not bound by what you've been through. You are free to walk into the fullness of God's purpose for your life. As you release the past, you make room for the future. You can't move forward if you're still holding onto the things that keep you anchored to what is behind you. God's restoration enables you to let go of everything that is holding you back, making space for the new things He wants to bring into your life. And as you release what has been weighing you down, you open yourself up to the abundant life that God has promised. Your future becomes a blank canvas, ready to be filled with the beauty and purpose He has for you. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means finding peace with the past and embracing the new. It's a process, but as God restores you, you'll find the strength to walk away from the pain and the regret, and to step into a future full of possibility and promise. The past no longer has a hold on you, and the future is wide open, ready for you to walk in with confidence, knowing that God is leading the way.